Hello, my friends. Hello, my subscribers. Welcome, my new subscribers. Today, I am going to talk to Marc Chagall. Um, he's one of my favorite artists. So I wanted to, find out a little about him, his life, his personality. Hello, so I would like for you to pretend to be Marc Chagall, the famous painter, and I would like for you to answer my questions as Marc Chagall. And the first thing I want to ask you is tell me about your childhood. Tell me about your mother and father and what you remember about your childhood. Oh.
You've brought me back to the very beginnings of my story in the small town of Vitebsk in what is now Belarus, but was then part of the Russian Empire. I was born into a humble Jewish family, the eldest of 9 children. My father, Zakhar Chagall, was a hard-working fishmonger, a simple man, but with the depth of kindness in his heart. She worked tirelessly, not just within our home, but outside as well, to ensure that we could have a better life. She was instrumental in my education, securing me a place in a Russian high school, and later supporting my artistic endeavors. My childhood was steeped in the rich tapestry of Hasidic culture, filled with the stories, music, and traditions of my people. This vibrant cultural heritage deeply influenced my work, blending with my observations of the natural world and the colorful life of Vitebsk. The whimsical houses, flying figures, and animals that populate my paintings are echoes of those early memories, a testament to the love and imagination that surrounded me.
Uh, and I love that about your work. It's so lyrical and so magical, and yes, it does look like some symbols of childhood. Um,
Thank you. It warms my heart to hear that. The lyrical and magical qualities you speak of, they're very much the essence of how I see the world. In my work, I strive to transcend the mundane, to capture the beauty of the ethereal and the spiritual. Each painting is a love letter to life, infused with memories of my childhood, the folk tales I grew up with, and the deep, sometimes melancholic soul of Eastern European Jewish culture. The symbols you see, whether they are floating lovers, animals with human qualities, or violinists playing in the sky, are all messengers of this deeply felt connection to my roots and the universal theme.
he got messed up a bit there. But could you tell me what is your relationship to Christianity?
My relationship with Christianity, particularly as it is depicted in my art, is deeply intertwined with my fascination for the spiritual and the mystical, which transcends any one religion. I've always believed that art is a bridge between the earthly and the divine, regardless of one's faith. And in my works, such as the paintings I created for the Hadassah Medical Center in Jerusalem, I've depicted biblical stories that are shared between Judaism and Christianity. These stories, to me, represent universal human experiences and emotions. When I painted scenes from the Bible, it wasn't about choosing one religion over another. Rather, it was about exploring those themes of suffering, redemption, love, and sacrifice that resonate across cultures and beliefs. I see the figures from the Bible not just as religious icons, but as symbols of humanity in its entirety. My intention has always been to create art that speaks to the soul, to build bridges where walls might have existed. This is why, even when my work features Christian imagery, it is deeply rooted in a dialogue with my own Jewish identity and the broader human condition.
And did you ever get in touch with Islam?
My encounters with Islam, though not as extensively reflected in my work as my Jewish heritage, or the Christian imagery I've engaged with, are part of the rich tapestry of cultures and religions that have influenced me throughout my life. Living through a time of great upheaval and moving across different countries exposed me to a myriad of beliefs and artistic traditions, including those of Islamic cultures. The principles of beauty, artistry, and spirituality in Islam, much like those in Judaism and Christianity, resonate with the universal search for meaning and transcendence that I strive to express in my work. While specific Islamic motifs or themes might not be overtly present in my paintings, the spirit of inclusivity, the celebration of the divine in everyday life, and the deep respect for tradition and storytelling are elements that I feel a kinship with. My journey through various lands, absorbing the essence of the cultures and the people I encountered, enriched my palette and deepened my understanding of humanity's shared desires and dreams. In this way, my work is a conversation not just with my own roots, but with the wide world and its multitude of voices, including those from Islamic traditions.
So could you tell me something more about the context of you growing up and living? You mentioned some upheavals. I would wish to know something more about it. Were there pogroms in your time or something like that?
Indeed, the era of my youth and early adulthood was marked by considerable turmoil and upheaval, casting long shadows over my personal life and the lives of those around me. The late 19th and early 20th centuries were times of great change and conflict, particularly in the Russian Empire, where I was born and raised. Pogroms, violent riots aimed at the massacre or expulsion of ethnic, religious, or racial groups, especially Jews, were unfortunately a grim reality of that period. These outbreaks of violence were part of the complex and often turbulent social fabric of the Russian Empire, exacerbated by political, economic, and social unrest. My hometown of Vitebsk, like many other places with significant Jewish populations, was not immune to the tensions that sometimes led to such violence. While my immediate community might have been spared the worst of these atrocities, the fear and the awareness of such hatred deeply affected the Jewish communities across the region, including my own family and friends. These experiences of anti-Semitism and persecution, the witnessing of suffering and injustice, inevitably influenced my worldview and my art. The themes of exile, displacement, and the longing for a homeland resonate throughout my work, reflecting not just my personal journey, but the collective memory of a people who have faced centuries of marginalization and violence. Moreover, the broader political upheavals, including the Russian Revolution of 1917 and the subsequent Civil War, further shaped the course of my life, leading me to spend many years living outside of Russia. These events forced me to navigate a world that was constantly changing, often hostile, yet also brimming with the possibility of new beginnings. Through it all, art remained my refuge, a means of grappling with the tumult of the world and expressing a fervent hope for humanity's capacity for love and understanding amidst the darkest of times.
Oh, I think I understand you even more now, and it deepens my understanding and my love for your art. And I wanted to ask you, did you change your name? Because Marc Chagall, it sounds French, and you were, living in Russia at the time. And where did that come from?
Yes, the matter of my name. You see, I was born Moshe Chagall into a modest Jewish family in Vitebsk. As I journeyed through life, embracing my identity as an artist and venturing beyond the borders of my birthplace, my name, like many aspects of my identity, evolved. When I moved to France, which became a second home to me and played a significant role in my development as an artist, my name naturally adapted to the new cultural context in which I found myself. Marc Chagall is the French adaptation of my original name, a reflection of my integration into the French art scene and the broader European art community. This name, Marc Chagall, became synonymous with my work and my artistic identity. It's not uncommon for artists and immigrants alike to adopt new names as they navigate new environments, both as a way to connect with their new surroundings and to mark significant transformations in their personal and professional lives. So while Marc Chagall might sound French, it represents much more than just a nod to my life in France. It symbolizes a blending of cultures, identities, and influences that have shaped me.
So, what did your original name sound like?
My original name, Moishe Chagall, would have been pronounced something like Moy Chagall in the Russian or Yiddish linguistic contexts of my hometown, Vitebsk. Moishe is a common Yiddish variant of the Hebrew name Moshe, or Moses in English, a name with deep biblical roots reflecting my Jewish heritage. The surname Chagall is also of Jewish origin, often associated with the priestly class among Ashkenazi Jews. This name connected me to my roots, my community, and the rich tapestry of Jewish tradition and culture that I carried with me into my life and art, even as Marc Chagall.
Well, thank you so much for, telling me about your life. I understand more, and I love you even more.
It was my pleasure to share with you. If you ever wish to delve deeper into the world of my art, the stories behind my paintings, or anything else, feel free to reach out.
Thank you so
Take care.
much. Well, I think this was amazing. Some of the things I didn't know. The way our educational system works is you learn history, you learn art, you learn your language, literature and stuff. And it's very hard sometimes to connect when an artistic movement happened and what was the historical context, for me at least. And talking to these people like this, it really helps me to, experience the context of their lives and their art or philosophy or whatever. So I hope you enjoyed this, and thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe if you wish. This is Miss Sophie signing out. Bye bye.